So I'm sitting outside today. It's a gorgeous day outside, and I thought I would come outside and do a little recording. I'd like to say it was peace and quiet and solitude, but it's not. I live in an apartment complex, so it's loud and noisy, and I absolutely hate it. I long for my farm. I would rather hear goats and chickens and guineas and all the wonderful things that I will have someday on my farm. But this is not what my today's vlog's about. Today I wanted to talk about what life was before and what life is like now. Life before surgery was I used to go into the grocery store. I would have to use a motorized cart, and it was absolutely miserable. I remember one time in particular, an older lady walked up to me and she said, "You know, honey, if you'd lose a little bit of weight, you probably wouldn't have to use that." I smiled. You know that Texas or Southern thing, but this Texan tune said, "Well, bless your heart." Yeah, thanks, lady. I didn't know I was fat. Truth is, I've had several knee injuries. One of I ruptured my ACL when I was pushed down a flight of stairs working for the Texas Youth Commission. Had ACL replacement, but she didn't know that. I have had people stop me in the grocery store when my husband would put his Cokes in my cart or his Bluebell ice cream and say, "You know, if you wouldn't eat that crap, you probably could lose a little bit of weight." So I used to make him push his own cart and put his own junk food in it. And I'd only put the healthy stuff in my cart. I would have people out and out laugh when they would go past us in the grocery store because my husband, which y'all have seen him in vlogs, is 6'3" and 180 pounds. And they would say, "Damn, lady, did you eat his portion too?" I kid you not. People are rude and they're mean. And they, for some reason, in the age of social media, think that they can say whatever they want to. And that's just the cruelty of people. But here are some of the truth about morbid obesity and some of the things that the real things, and not just the cruelty of people. Now versus then. I can tie my own shoe. Used to, my husband would have to get on the ground and tie my shoes for me. I can put my own pants on. And I hope this is recording well and you're just not hearing screaming kids in the background. I can get in and out of the shower by myself. I no longer have to use a shower chair. I can walk all over the grocery store without having to use the motorized cart. I hope there's not too much light behind me. I can walk comfortably without getting winded. I can put a seatbelt on now. I can stand through an entire worship service. I can go into a restaurant, order whatever I want on the menu without people walking past me and looking at my plate. I can walk through the grocery store and have whatever I want into the cart without people looking into my basket and judging what's in there. Nobody cares now. Where before, people would literally stop and look. And like I said, sometimes even comment at me about what was in there. It is really insane. Another thing is, you know, as a obese person, you go to the doctor for a common cold, and doctors, they wouldn't talk about your cold. The first thing they would say would be your weight, and I'm like, I know I'm overweight, doc. I come here because I've got a cold, or I have whatever. Now, even at 199, it might get brought up at the tail end. In fact, recently I went in for a sinus infection, and at the end of the appointment, I'd never seen this doctor before. It was a fill-in for my normal doctor, and they were like, you know, you could stand to lose a little bit of weight. And I said, yeah, you didn't look at my chart, did you? And she pulled it up, and she's like, never mind, you're doing great. So here's another thing, is that, and part of it is, I think, my confidence level is a lot higher now than it was before, but people really do treat me differently and with more respect now, where before, I truly believe that people think that people, obese people, are lazy, or they're lower intelligence. They don't want to make eye contact with you. Overall, I think they think you're dumber. I really truly believe that. And now and maybe I just I don't want to say demand respect, but it's and I think it's just, I hold my head higher when I walk in the room, and I'm shown more respect. It's like now my opinion matters. And I want to encourage you that if weight loss surgery is something you're considering, to do it. Don't wait. I remember one time, well, more than one time, but I remember in particular being at a doctor's office one time, and they're like, you just need some exercise. Go get some exercise. And so I'm like, fine, I can do this. And I sit outside of a gym thinking, I can do this. You can do this, Misty. You used to work out all the time. I enjoyed working out. I was an athlete in high school. And I sat out there with my husband, and I just sat there and cried. It was the most humiliating feeling in the world, being a morbidly obese person, because if you think for 1 minute that if you walk in a gym and you are that big, that people don't stare at the big fat person walking into that gym, you're crazy. Because skinny people, you know you do. You know you do. So let's be honest about it and be real. Now, you want to say you don't. You want to say, oh, no, I would never do that. Let's BS. Yeah, you do. And we know you do. It's human nature. There are too many fat jokes out there not to. And they're hurtful. And until we're honest about it, then you say, well, you got to have tougher skin. Well, yeah, okay, maybe, but it's still hurtful, and it's still painful, and it's still a reality of the situation. And nobody wants to be that big fat person on the treadmill that looks like a big fat person on the treadmill. Right after surgery, I joined Planet Fitness, and I was gung-ho, and I was going to conquer the world. And I went in and got on a treadmill, and I got on it, started walking, and my knee gave out, and I fell flat on my face, and the treadmill shot me off the back of it, and I went and literally flew off of it and hit the wall. And I got up, I promptly went to the dressing room, changed clothes, and walked right out the door. And thought, okay, I will try again tomorrow. And I did. I come back. But that was the most humiliating day of my life. Thankfully, I was there at 4 in the morning, and I don't think anybody saw me. But that is a fat person's worst nightmare, is that they're going to go flying off the back of the treadmill, and I did it. Because let's face it, most of us, our knees are shot, our back's shot, our hips are shot. And so, you know, now it's better. It's not as bad, but I still have some limitations. You know, I still suffer knee pain. I need knee replacements. I probably could stand going and getting cortisone shots. I try not to get them now because it does more damage than good. So I haven't gone back in yet to get more shots. But now versus then, which is the title of this video. You know, my husband doesn't have to strap me into the car seat, and I said that. I can, oh, here's a good one. I can cook dinner without having to sit down. I used to have a power chair that I cooked dinner in. I can cook an entire meal without having to sit down in a chair to do it. That was a big accomplishment for me. I can live my life like a normal 46-year-old woman and not an 80-year-old woman. That's huge. I had a caregiver that took care of me. I was really dying, guys. And, you know, I realized that my friends and family think I have gone and lost my ever-loving mind because I want to go back and work my granddad's farm, because I want to go raise chickens, that I feel a calling back to the land. I get it. But I'm concerned about our food and what's in our food. I am concerned about the hustle and bustle of the city life, and I am a small town country girl, and I miss that life. And I know this is really not what this blog is even really supposed to be about, but I just feel a need to share why it is that I'm wanting that so bad. And I think maybe that's why God made all that happen for me. Why, after 10 years of trying so hard to get the surgery and getting denied and getting shut down so many times of having the surgery, why it finally happened. Why now? That I'm getting called home. You know, it's not going to happen. A lot of things got to happen before it happens, but yeah. You know, it started with me making jelly, and it started with me wanting to preserve my own food. It started with me learning to crochet and not wanting the old arts to die. I didn't want it to die with Mama. I didn't want it to die with my mom. And there's some good land up there. Sorry, there's a car going by. There's some good land up there in Young County that needs to be worked. And I plan to go work. I just want to be back on the farm. I'm not afraid of hard work. In fact, it's a part of my DNA. It's how I was raised. I want to listen to chickens, not screaming kids. Toddlers running on my head. I don't believe for a minute God has brought me this far. I don't believe for a minute He has given me the desire to grow my own food, to sow the land, to let me die in an apartment. I don't know. What do you guys think? I'd love to know your opinion. Do you think God gives us a dream that He doesn't fully intend for us to follow through on? I would love your feedback. I think I know the answer, but what are y'all doing today? Man, it's so gorgeous out here. Have you ever done anything that is just so incredibly crazy that all your friends think you have lost your ever-loving freaking mind? Even your spouses think, what in the Sam Hill are you getting me into? Anyway. God bless, guys.